Hey, this is Kelsey from Tech Ops Training. Today we're in the classroom. We're using a demo box for a BE Aerospace sweep-on smoke goggle oxygen mask. All right, I'm going to show you a couple of things about packing it and about inspecting it. The first things, whenever you have to put one of these back in, you're compelled to inspect it, and you need to check these green hoses, make sure there's no abrasions, make sure they're all intact, make sure they're not frayed. You're going to want to inspect all of these pieces back here on the back, the crossover tubes they call them. Make sure they're all intact. You're also going to want to inspect the lens of the smoke goggle. This is a classroom display. This is not a serviceable unit. This would need to be cleaned. This would be considered unacceptable to pack back into a box until you cleaned it. These are cleanable. The directions are in the AMM. That AMM is going to be referenced here as 35, 11, 51, and that covers all of the oxygen mask repacking and cleaning and inspecting for our fleet. Most of the fleet has the BE Aerospace masks that look something like this. They got the knob here on the nose, and they say BE Aerospace right there in the tip. So there again, inspect it, clean it, make sure there's no cuts, tears, rips, abrasions, so on and so forth, before you go through the process of repacking this thing. This is typically what you're going to see, and you're going to see this black material in here, and I'm going to pull a little bit of it out here. This is an anti-abrasion bag. This is there to protect the lens from getting scratched. It's also there to protect the green tubing that I just showed you. All right, and keep it from abrading and coming apart. If you reach your hand down in here a little further, you should be able to grab a hold of the two quick disconnects. The big one here, of course, is for the oxygen, and this one here is for the microphone. Now, this bag is supposed to be installed. It's there to protect the lens and the green hosing. For this video, I have removed it on this classroom display right here. Okay, so here's our classroom display, and there again, the black anti-abrasion bag is missing. Here is our quick disconnect for our oxygen, and here's our quick disconnect for our mic. The very first thing I want to do is I actually want to show you something inside this box, and it's what I like to call the channel, or the lip that's down inside of here. And if you follow my pointer in here, I'm going to go up this ramp, and then it's going to drop over that ramp, and there's a lip. And there's a little channel right here, and that's a channel to hold a coil. And that's going to be very important in just a minute. The first thing we're going to do to repack this is we're going to take this elbow, and we're going to take this elbow and we're going to twist it down in here so it lays straight, and it's going to lay straight to the top left corner. Let me get both hands in here for a second. Let's see. Yep, that looks good. Maybe a little all the way down. Yep, it's straight. It's all the way down. So I have this coil, this first elbow with the going into the first coil. I have it down here. It goes straight down from the test indicator here, straight down, or the flow indicator, straight down. It makes the elbow and it comes across right here. And that's very important that lays properly to start with. The very next part I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding my coils into the box, and this is where it gets very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to make my first coil here. And your first coil is probably the most important coil you're going to make in this whole thing. Maybe the second most important. All right, so that's coming around there. Okay, so if you look down here in the box, you see the elbow is up here in the corner still, the quick disconnects, comes down, goes around the mic wire, pass through there, and then it comes up, and it's just short of the inlet for the oxygen. You can see it right there in that bottom corner. I have the first coil off to the right of that, so it's not setting on top of there. That's going to be pretty important too. I continue on around with my next coil, and I'm going to mimic that same area, but this time I'm going to go over both the mic wire pass through and the inlet for the oxygen line. And there you see my second coil. It comes down and around and back up. And I've pretty much filled up the lower portion of this box with those first two coils. Now I've arrived at the channel for my next coil. And this next coil is going to come down and it is going to drop into that channel. Maybe I can do this with the pointer here. And I take this hose. Well, that's what I get for using a telescoping pointer. There we go. Do y'all see that hop down into that channel right there? See how it's down inside there? All right, that's my third coil. And then I'm going to twist it up here like this. And there again, pushing down all the way around. You want to get those first three coils in there nice and tight. All right. So now at this point, I have my mask. I got my 3 coils of hose inside there, and here's my mask. I'm going to turn my mask upside down, and I need to make the burrito, what we like to refer to as the burrito. And I'm going to take this top piece right here, and I'm going to give it a little twist, and it's all going to set down inside the mouthpiece. All right? You don't want any material or any part of the head strap in front of the mask. If it is in front of the mask, it will inhibit the pilot from donning it quickly. Okay, it could get hung up on the nose piece or something like that. All right, so here we go. I got all this shoved down in here, and I take this side. There again, this is hard because I'm keeping my 3 coils inside that box. I take this one side and I coil it down really, 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 really tight and roll it. And then I bring the other one over top of it. And then I lay this hose down the center. All right, just like that. And now I have what is referred to as the burrito. I still have my 3 coils in here. And now I'm going to move the camera a little closer. So now I got my burrito. I'm working on my 4th turn inside of here, and that should kind of drop down into the channel as I slide the mask in. And I'm going to take the mask just like this. As it goes into the box, I can let go of it. All right, and I'm going to take that mask and I'm going to slide that mask straight in. It's going to take a little bit of force. Give it a quick little push. Don't want to go too hard and wedge it in there. But you also have to give it a little bit of force here. And I think we got a good one. I think I did it right. To test it, to inspect it first, the doors have to be fully closed. They shouldn't be popped. They shouldn't be cantered. They shouldn't look like this. They shouldn't be looking like that. They got to be fully closed, and you'll feel them click into place. And this one's leaking right now, but watch this. I hit that test switch once, and it stops its little leak. And I do it again to test it, and I'm good to go. I've just successfully repacked a BE Aerospace quick donning oxygen mask and smoke goggle assembly. Hey, this is Kelsey again, and I wanted to show you something that happened while I was repacking this. As you know, this is a special box. I've disassembled it. I've actually drilled a couple holes in it, and I removed the anti-friction liner right here. And this anti-friction liner is secured with Velcro. See that Velcro right there? There's Velcro on the inside of the box, right here and right here. As you're installing this into this compartment, you need to make sure that this rough side of the Velcro is covered fully by the anti-abrasion bag. Okay? If it is not, I'm going to show you what happens to your mask. All right, your mask. I'm going to pull it out here. There we go. I got the mask open, and I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to show you right here what happens if that Velcro, look at that right there. That right there is a reason to disqualify this mask from being used any further. All right? At this point, this would be considered an unserviceable mask, and it would need to go back to the shop, and you would need to reinstall a new one. So a little maintenance tip here is to make sure your bag's installed and to make sure you can't feel any of the the hook side of the Velcro right here. So that's another little maintenance tip for you. Yep, there it is. Comes out and untwists. Beautiful. Crew has the ability to hit the button and, of course, inflate the mask. Yep, there it is. One ruined mask. That's all right. These were unserviceable when we got them. Hey, thanks for watching. Catch you later.